So I'm testing out some new microphones and new setup, and wanted to kind of play with some video today a little. It's New Year's Eve, so not a whole lot's going on. It's afternoon, pretty much everybody's gone home. So I went to get the mail from the post office, about a couple-minute drive for me. So I was thinking about a guy I used to work with, John. John, very cool cat. This was back in the dial-up days, back with when Windows 98 was a big thing. Plug and play was not really plug and play. So I worked for a little phone company, and we had at peak we had about 8,000 dial-up subscribers. At this time we had maybe 5,000 or so. So the story kind of starts out. John and I were the older of the tech support. Most of the guys working were college age kids. So what would happen would be, when spring break came, or mainly finals came, because these were geeks. They loved to work. So we John and I would end up. We were the only two who could work during finals weeks. So we would work a lot of 12-hour days. So one particular year, John and I are working, and I think this was about a Thursday or Friday. It was toward the end of the week. And anybody who's done tech support knows it can be, a grind. It can be, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. It can wear on you. So imagine John and I worked in this little telephone central office. They had made it into a tech support office, and the room that we all worked in was about a 10 foot by, it wasn't an 8 foot room, it was maybe 6 foot wide. Imagine these central offices that were built in the 50s, and ergonomics and stuff like that really wasn't a big thing then. It's just, let's put some people in here. And a central office never really was the hub of everything. Maybe had an operator in there, and she directed calls or whatever, but it wasn't a hustle and bustle office. So they had retrofitted this office to be a technical support office. So at any one time there are two, maybe three of us in there. So anyway, back to my story. John and I, we'd been working all week, 12-hour days, and this was probably on a Thursday or a Friday. And it's early in the morning. It was on a Friday because I went out drinking the night before, and I was, had to be in at 8 o'clock. And so I get there, and I'm just hating life. And it was a not too busy of a day, so I'm doing some busy work, and John's behind me, talking to a customer. And John was one of these guys. He was always kind of on the razor's edge. He popped NoDoz like they were candy. He was up all hours of the night. He just, he was go go go. So, it was always, what are you doing, John? Do you go home and you murder people in your basement, or what do you do? Not really. John was a great guy, nice guy. But, he was walking that razor's edge. So I'm sitting there. It's about 8:30 in the morning or so. And I'm just kind of, I'm taking a break, and I'm laying on my desk. I got headphones on. I'm waiting for the next call, kind of. And I'm sitting there, and I hear this behind me: stop clicking. Just stop clicking. I don't care what you're doing. Just stop clicking. And I kind of raise my head up. I'm like, oh no, this is it. John's going to flip out, and they're going to murder. He's going to murder me, and they're going to find my body in this little bitty town. We worked in this little bitty town, maybe 50 houses, but we're out in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, this is it. John's going to just murder me. And I still hear him behind me. I don't care what you're doing. Just stop clicking. Just stop it. And I kind of turn around, and I look at John, and he's just, he's just sitting there with he always had this look on his face that, life and people just annoyed him. So he gets this lady on the phone to stop what she's doing. And he's like, okay, I just need you to reboot. And so he gets her to reboot, and this is during the time it took a computer a good 3 or 4, maybe 5 minutes to boot up. We're talking, just the start of Windows 98. So, John gets her to reboot and says, "Call me back when you're done." And so, he hangs up the phone, and I'm sitting there. About 3 or 4 minutes later, the phone rings, and I see on the caller ID it's the lady John's been talking to. And we did a round robin kind of deal. He would get a call, then next call I would get, and if it wasn't too busy, we'd just flip flop. And so I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna get it. This lady's gonna be super mad. She's gonna read me the right. I can't deal with this morning. So I click the button on the phone. Do my little hello spiel. And she's like, I just want to talk to that nice guy, John. And she was serious. She wasn't sarcastic or anything like that. I want to talk to that nice guy, John. He's been helping me. I'm like, sure, go right ahead. John, it's for you, man. And John had this way of telling people that they were just stupid to their face, and they would thank him for it. So that's kind of my tech support story for the day. The day my coworker almost flipped out and killed me in the middle of nowhere, Indiana. So yeah, thanks.